Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 141 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige. I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I actually just realized I think this might be the first time we've ever been on here where my hair is as long as yours.
Yeah, that might actually, it probably is. It's close. It's definitely close. But maybe I'll get a haircut so you can pull away in the lead. But yeah, it's definitely the closest it's ever been. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard. We do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with you guys, go through the same flow you guys do with your own shows. Two is to answer any of your questions, so feel free to leave them in the chat. We'll do our best to get to as many as we can. And then I always make sure I mention our three pillars, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. See lots of people hanging out in the chat tonight. It's nice to see all of you here. JP has an interesting question. Thanks for tuning in, JP. Says, glad to make the live. How's your spirit? Our spirit's good. Hope you're doing well too. There seems to be an abundance of folks using StreamYard. Is the yard concerned about overload? Have peak times changed? So we're not concerned, JP. So the way StreamYard works is everything's quite dynamic, right? So we have lots and lots of servers, like thousands of servers at peak times, even more than that change all the time. So when lots and lots of people are on the website, we actually deploy more and more resources. So it's if there's a big spike in people using it, we just get more resources. That's the beauty of the cloud. Anything to add to that one, Dan?
No, I guess the other one is like, has peak times changed? I think over time, not for the last while, year or two. Peak times for us is just like during the week. It's quite long. It's not like there's like one time of the week or something that's peak. It's just like the whole week's actually pretty steady around the same times of day. But it definitely changed like since we first started a little bit.
Cool. Before I forget, lots of shows to mention. So we got the StreamYard Spotlight, first Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is a show featuring all of you. Dana and Kelsey interview people in the community and how they're having success with live streaming. So if you'd like to be featured on that, feel free to reach out to Dana. We have YouTube channel reviews with Dean Inman and Daniel Batal the second Saturday of every month. Is a great show. If you have a YouTube channel, like to get some feedback on your thumbnails and your titles, like the cadence of how you're doing your videos. Dee and Daniel are definitely experts and will have some great advice for you. And we have Enhance Your Live Streaming the last Tuesday of the month with Nick Nimmin. Another great stream, especially specifically for live streaming. If you're looking to improve your live streams, Nick is definitely an expert there. We have Live Stream Impact with Julie's the second Friday of every month at 3 p.m. Eastern. She interviews lots of awesome guests. And then we have live stream reviews first and third Saturday at noon PST. Great show just for live feedback on your live streams. And of course we also have open office for any extra questions you have in our Facebook community group. You can find that by just going to Facebook and type it in StreamYard community. That's 11 a.m. Eastern, Tuesday, first and third week with Julie and Mel. And fun fact for the week, feel free to answer it yourselves. We've been enjoying going back to the comments each week to see what people like. For this week we had favorite type of cereal. What's your favorite type of cereal, Dan?
Man, that's good. It's been a long time since I've eaten cereal, but I used to love it when I was a kid. I would say my favorite type's mini wheats. I think that was always my favorite as a kid.
Awesome. Yeah, I also have. Sorry, go ahead.
How about you?
Yeah, I also haven't had cereal for a very long time. It's hard to choose. I definitely had a lot of favorites as a kid, but I think the one that I probably came back to the most frequently, not the most healthy cereal, but honeycomb was definitely
nice.
Definitely a good one.
Cool.
Cool. Clarine says, question, I frequently see new comments after I end my broadcast and my guest and I are still in the studio having our post-show discussion. Any insights on why? Yeah, that's a good question, Clarine. So after your show's over, on many platforms, people are still able to comment, right? So like people on Facebook and stuff can actually comment on the recording and things like that. So if you're still in the studio, we'll continue checking those platforms for comments. So even though you're no longer broadcasting, it's totally possible to have new comments come in after it's ended. So not really anything to worry about there. People can just continue commenting after it's over.
Yep. And with YouTube specifically, so YouTube's live chat ends, I think it's still 5 minutes after. I don't think anything's changed there. So 5 minutes after your YouTube stream ends, the comments will stop on YouTube and they can't comment anymore. And then it kind of goes from the live chat into like the normal comment section on YouTube, and those won't show up on StreamYard. So you have like 5 minutes after to get comments from YouTube, but the other platforms will just keep going.
Cool.
I should say the other platform, Facebook will keep going.
Gotcha. Radio Don says, my question is, when will we be able to broadcast on Twitter? The channel connected to Twitter went away on Friday. So we'll be making an announcement this week, Radio Don. We actually had a banner for it. Let me quickly grab it. Twitter migration. So yeah, Periscope is officially being sunset, and it's happening this week. And we have a nice flow for you guys. So there'll be just a couple buttons you'll have to click on StreamYard itself to basically convert your Periscope broadcasts into Twitter broadcasts. And that'll happen. Do you have a specific, do you know the specific day?
So
yeah.
Periscope is officially going away on Friday.
Okay.
This week. We'll be releasing the Twitter Live integration earlier in the week. So you have like several days. We'll send out an email for it. We'll have all this like messaging on the site to help you go through it. And like Geige said, it's really on rails, especially if you just have like one Periscope. If you have more, there's a little more to it. But if it's just one Periscope destination, you want to switch it out, or you don't even have a Periscope destination, you just want to add Twitter Live, that should be really, really straightforward to do.
Cool. All right, let's see here. Brian says, question, I'm getting lots of trolls these days. Any way to get the ability to block/ban on all platforms we access? So we'll definitely have to double check, Brian, if anything's changed on certain platforms. If any have changed as far as more ability for us to control moderation on the StreamYard side, we'll certainly add those functions. But if it is a problem for you, I would definitely try to recommend getting someone you trust in your community, maybe a longtime viewer, or maybe just someone that works with you on the show. Viewers are generally the best, I think, especially a long time one, because they're actually actively watching on that channel. And that's a great way to sort of like community source people from your own community to help moderate and do that. But either way, we'll certainly see if anything's changed on that front.
Also be curious if there's a specific channel you're having trouble with. Like, is it YouTube mostly? Is it Facebook pages?
Cool. Hazel says, I've not broadcasted in a while, but I've been following on many of the upgrades like cohorts, folders, giveaway tool, recording, etc. I have a paid account and starting to set up my shows, but I'm not seeing these enhancements since I became a customer. What am I missing? So you should see most of those on the dashboard, Hazel. For recording specifically, like when you go to create a broadcast, there's an option to do a record-only broadcast. That's the recording thing. Giveaway tool would be an easy one to miss because you actually have to, it's not built into the tool. It's just sort of like a fun extra thing. If you go to StreamYard.com/giveaway, right, Dan?
Yep.
If you go to StreamYard.com/giveaway, you can access it. Folders are within the studio itself. So if you go into banners, you'll have the option to create additional folders for your banners. If you reach out to support, StreamYard.com/contact, they can sort of walk you through each step to find out all of those things, but you should have access to all of them. I'm not actually sure what you mean by cohorts. Maybe you can
maybe co-hosts.
Oh, co-host. So co-host hasn't actually been released yet, Hazel, so stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, and folders, so there's kind of two forms as well. There's banner folders, so when you're organizing your banners, you can put them in folders, but then also in your brands tab, we don't call them folders, we just call them brands, but you can have multiple brands if you have like different types of shows. So it's kind of two different forms of folders.
Cool. Charles says, question, can we autofill for the description section? I use the same info, getting tired of putting it in all the time. Definitely feel your pain on that one, Charles. I should probably get more descriptive with our descriptions on the town hall, but I do reuse it. And right now, no, but we absolutely want to make things like this easier. So the ability to sort of like clone past broadcasts and then make templates and things like that, they're things our designers are actively exploring. So we'd love to make that easier for you. All right, we did have some questions for you guys tonight. Let me see what the first one was. One of them was actually about, I don't think we've ever talked about it before, but I'm curious if any of you use Meetup. And if you do use Meetup, do you only ever use it for in-person gatherings, or have you used it for virtual stuff as well, as far as like, instead of a Facebook group or something, using a Meetup to sort of foster your community? Just curious if any of you use it, and if you do use it, how you're using it. Let's see.
Cool. I've always liked Meetup.
Daniel says you can go to Twitter with RTMP. Yep, you can do that, Daniel, but we'll have an even better integration this week. So stay tuned for that, and you'll be able to connect it directly.
Yep.
Robert says, I've been a StreamYard user since the early days and really dig the progression of the software. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate that. My question is, will we ever get live analytics the same way I can when I stream directly on YouTube? So we'd certainly like to improve analytics, Robert, especially now that we have like the sharing and whatnot. There's certain types of analytics that we won't have on StreamYard. Like on YouTube, I think it gets pretty deep as far as like geos and things like that. But we'd certainly like to improve it. And right now we don't really have an analytics section, so that's another thing we're exploring is the types of analytics we can have on StreamYard itself and what's actually useful for people. So if there's specific ones, I'd be curious, Robert, like maybe the three most important questions that you'd like to answer in an analytics section would be super useful for us as far as like, you know, which platform am I getting the most views on? How am I trending? Whatever they are, we'd just be curious the key things you'd look for from your analytics.
Yep.
Stuart says, I noticed the video lags behind our audio on my church's lives, 1.5 and 1 second. How do we adjust that by delaying the audio to match the video? So Stuart, it depends on your setup. Again, StreamYard.com/contact. They'd be good at walking you through step by step because it's going to depend on your equipment. The easiest solution is generally, especially for church, I assume you might have something like an audio mixer or different types of feeds coming in, is to try to have the audio all feeding through the same setup so that the thing, like I'm not doing a good job explaining it, but what you're capturing the audio with, there's sometimes within the hardware you can actually make sure that stuff is synced. So that's the first thing I'd attempt to do. But contact the people, the wonderful support team on StreamYard.com/contact can walk you through step by step.
Yeah.
Daniel Escobar says, any way to design our own cam layouts one day? So yeah, not right now, Daniel, but who knows? It's definitely a possibility. We want to make sure that things are simple. So when someone first starts it, they just have some cool layouts they can immediately choose. But definitely something we're open to tuck it away and give you guys more flexibility. So who knows? Maybe one day.
Yeah, just need to make sure, like Dave said, we do it in a way that doesn't kind of muddy up the product or like add too much stuff. That's just something we're always thinking about with every single feature. Is like, how do we do this in a way where, because eventually you keep adding features and all of a sudden the whole thing is just unwieldy and hard to use. So yeah, just trying to balance that.
Absolutely. Amy says, we plan on having partners join our webinars and would love to have multiple brand colors within a brand so that we can assign different brand colors to our partners versus our hosts without having to build custom overlays. It's a cool request, Amy. We've never actually we never actually had that one before, but definitely noted. We definitely would like to give more flexibility within the brands in general. So I assume you mean something like each person's nameplate almost looks different. So yeah, definitely noted on the feedback, something we'll keep in mind as we continue to build out more robustness when it comes to customizing brands.
Cool.
Let's see. Russ says meetup equals face-to-face. Fair enough. It sounds like Nancy's using it for virtual events. Good to know. Joe's not using meetup. Thanks, Joe. Sounds like most folks are just in person, but I appreciate the feedback on it.
Cool. I'd be curious how many of you are kind of running your own versus just joining other people's meetups.
Cool. All right. Other thing we want to quickly mention, in case you guys missed it, is we did officially launch sharing last week. So now every time you do a StreamYard broadcast, you'll actually be able to share the recording out just from StreamYard itself. So if you just have like an editor you want to share the video with, or a co-host, or just want to make it easier to share to your audience or something like that, or even embed it on your own website, that's all now possible within StreamYard itself. Anything to add to that one, Dan?
I'm always just curious, like if anyone has any suggestions for it, like for anyone that's used it, if there's any features you'd like to see added to it. Like we're definitely planning to add some stuff to it over time, but just curious if there's anything like you're really needing there.
Cool. Pixel Pia says, I'm looking for the exact dimensions to create my own overlays for different numbers of guests. Do you have them published somewhere? We actually do, Pixel Pia. It's not super pretty. We have like a Google sheet that has like different coordinates and what the layouts are, but we do have that. If Dana, if you're watching, if you wouldn't mind linking it in the chat, the other place, Pixel Pia, if you just go into the StreamYard Facebook group and search for StreamYard coordinates, it should pop up there. But hopefully Dana can share it in the chat, or
cool.
someone else if someone else happens to have it.
I've got a tin roof in the building I'm in right now in the shop. I love the sound of like it's like it's pouring rain. I love the sound of pouring rain on a tin roof.
Sound cool. Thanks, Edward. Glad you're enjoying it. Let's see here. Paul says, sorry, sharing, can we use that to add a co-host, producer, or stage manager? No, sorry, Paul. By sharing, it's just to the video itself. So like a past recording of StreamYard, if you just want a super quick link to share with someone else, that's now available on StreamYard itself.
But you'll also be able to add a co-host very soon as well.
Soraya says, I just had my first virtual art exhibition and love the platform. Congrats on your first exhibition, Soraya. Hope that's awesome. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. All right. Another thing I wanted to mention tonight was we have a new industry showcase. So if you guys might have caught the last one, which was for religious organizations, this one is focused on people that produce events. So I've got a nice picture for it. Let's see here. So yeah, event production professionals. So if you're someone that is a producer or you're an agency producing events or streams on behalf of other folks, this will be a great event to learn from some of the best people in the industry and people having a ton of success to up your game. So be sure to check that out. You can see the link on the slide there, StreamYard.com/showcase. And also curious other ones that you guys would like to see. I know we asked you guys that last time, and education was a big one, so that one's definitely noted. But if there's anything else you'd like to see as far as showcases, do let us know.
Cool.
Hey, Letitia, hope you're doing well. Any plans for an in-person StreamYard conference for 2022?
I'd love to have one, but
I feel like once the COVID stuff calms down, I feel like we probably will. Hopefully that'll be by 2022, but until we see how things play out, won't know for sure. But as soon as we can, I think it would be cool to experiment with some in-person conferences. It would be great to see some of you guys face to face. It'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love when you know someone online for a while and then you finally get to meet them in person. There's still some conferences though, right? Like there's now in-person conferences. It's just very.
It depends on the location. Like some places are safer than others. So yeah, kind of like the environment's always changing, so hard to know for sure.
Yeah.
Leo says sharing an embedding feature didn't show up in my dashboard. I'm under the SY paid version. If you reach out to StreamYard.com/contact Leo, they can make sure it's enabled for you. For some folks that were recording tons and tons of videos, we didn't want it to be an abrupt experience for them, and we still haven't made the official announcement for it. We're waiting until we have some better management for like bulk deleting things and whatnot, because obviously if you're recording tons of videos, it could be a bit of a pain, especially if you don't want to opt for more storage to have to go and delete every single one. So we wanted to make sure that no matter what, we weren't giving anyone a worse experience. But if you'd like it manually turned on, you can reach out to StreamYard.com/contact and it'll turn it on for you.
Yep. It also means you're in a small group of like extreme power streamers, which is props to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You must stream a lot if it's not turned on. That's for sure. Yeah. Anthony says, did I miss the response about viewership analytics for multiple platforms within the dashboard? We just said it's not ready yet, Anthony, but it's something we're exploring. And if there's any specific insights any of you guys have as far as like the types of questions you'd like to answer with analytics, like what kind of stuff would you like to learn from that analytics dashboard would be super helpful for us. But it's something that we're exploring and we'll certainly launch at some point. Joe Dog says, rain on a tin roof, best night of sleep I've ever had. Yeah, it is. There is something special about the rain coming down when you're
huge fan. Yeah, I remember when I used to work, like one of my first jobs, as you know, Geige, I was working for my dad, and he's in forestry. So we were working like way up in the wilderness in British Columbia, Canada, and there's a few times where we'd be sleeping in like this logging camp type thing and tin roof. And it was sometimes good because you'd wake up and you had to get up pretty early, like 5 a.m. And you look at the clock and it's like 2 a.m. or something, and you're just like, oh, is that nice? Or sometimes you wake up, it's like 4:50 a.m. and I'm about to walk through that all day.
Yikes! Yeah.
But yeah, I love that time.
Cool. Letitia says, can't wait for the showcase. I plan events here in the USA, and Bali. I love it. Next one is next year in NYC. Awesome, Letitia. Well, hopefully we'll see you there.
Cool.
Stuart says, question, would it be possible to have opacity control of the banners, including applying a gradient? It's certainly possible, Stuart. We don't have it now, but definitely, like Dan mentioned earlier, we would like to try to add as much functionality as we can tucked away so the product's still easier for folks, but there's more customization. So we'll certainly explore it. All right. I think we should probably go ahead and do the giveaway here. You want to go ahead and bring it up, Dan, and then I'll see if I can answer a couple more here while you bring it up.
You betcha.
Randall says using StreamYard 4 hours per day. That's awesome, Randall. Very cool.
Whew.
I'm curious, Randall, how many different shows is it? I assume it's not all just one show. Nidaranda, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Yesterday I was live with StreamYard. However, I noticed that the stream on Facebook has picture qualities options up to 1080p. Do you guys have anything to do with that? So we do on Pro have the option to broadcast in 1080p. For a long time, the highest Facebook actually allowed was 720p. Maybe that changed. I'm not actually. Do you know anything about that, Dan?
So some users on Facebook have always had access to 1080p. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that changed where more people have access, or maybe you just got access. I'd be curious. Do you know if he's talking about his stream or someone else's?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious if it's your stream or someone else. But yeah, some people do have access to 1080p. Most, I don't think, do, again, unless that changed. But we do have the option to stream in 1080p, which, will at least go like on YouTube, Facebook, or sorry, on YouTube, LinkedIn, other platforms will go to 1080p, Twitch, just not Facebook.
Tiffany says, for Small Business Saturday, I host a live virtual vendor event for 12 hours. Is there any way to pause a broadcast rather than deleting where I'm streaming to and add them back in to start a new video? So I assume you've already thought of this, Tiffany, but just in case, I mean, one thing you could do is just continue streaming and put up a full screen overlay to essentially pause in between, but maybe you don't want to do that. Any thoughts on that one, Dan? For Hopin specifically, we had some kind of option for it, right? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, for Hopin, we do. You can actually pause it.
So Tiffany, if you are happening to do that event on Hopin, the Hopin virtual events platform, there is actually an option to pause and start again in StreamYard. So not sure if that's what you're using, but if you are using that, there is an option.
I'd also be curious. So it sounds like she's removing, I think, the destinations from the broadcast and then re-adding them all to stay in the same studio. You could also use multiple studios, but yeah, I get there's a trade-off there. I think you're doing it the way that I would probably do it, other than with Geige said, if you can just not even stop. But I'm guessing there's probably a reason you want to stop.
Edward says, any plan to get the main video as an external player? You know what that one means, Dan?
No, I'm not sure.
If you give us a bit more context, Edward, but with the embedding feature, there is a player now. So if you're you can embed all your past StreamYard recordings, but maybe you mean a different thing by main. Let us know.
Giveaway?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so looks like most of you are familiar based on the entries, but we do a giveaway every week here. So if you type in #TheYard in the comments, you'll be eligible to win. So we'll give you guys a little bit of time to get those in. And tonight we'll be giving away the StreamYard plush duck and a StreamYard sweater. So this is a picture of the plush duck, and I'm actually wearing the sweater, but you'll get the new version of the sweater, it has a bigger version of the logo. It's a little bit nicer, so you'll actually get a new and improved version. But we'll give you guys a little bit of time to get those in.
Cool.
Michael says, Danny Geige, you need to come to our game show on Friday night. It would be a blast. Yeah, we'll have to do that one of these days, Michael.
That would be fun. I've watched it before.
Yeah, I've caught it a few times. It's impressive how dynamic of a show you have, Michael. It would be. I know it's a difficult thing to produce, so hats off.
Yeah.
Amy says, It would be nice to be able to unlist the YouTube stream once our stream is over so we don't have to remember to go to our YouTube channel to do it after each show. We do over 500 webinars a month. Ooh, cool. That's another interesting feature request. Sweet. Amy, that one actually is another one we probably could add as well. So yeah, noted. That's interesting. I'd be curious. Cool. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
No, it's cool. It's an interesting one.
I'd be curious too, Amy, what the reasoning for using YouTube as the webinar platform versus other webinar tools. We actually do it ourselves. So, but I was just curious from your perspective, the main reasons you do it. But the StreamYard, we have a weekly getting started webinar with StreamYard that we do it the exact same way as you. We actually keep it unlisted the whole time, so that part's a little bit different. But I'm curious what you like about YouTube for that. All right, has it gone up in the last few seconds, or should we go?
I think we're good to go.
Cool.
Good luck, everyone. So suspenseful.
Hey, Pixel Pia, you asked the coordinates question, so hopefully you found the link to that. But congrats if you reach out to contact@streamyard.com over email. Dana can help set you up and get your information to send you the Puddles Duck and the StreamYard sweater.
Cool, big congrats.
Riza says, hello, watching from the Philippines. Thank you, StreamYard. It's been a big help at our school in this time of the pandemic. Thanks, Riza. Super happy to hear that. All right, I probably have time for a couple more here. Let's see what else we have. Karl says, this past weekend, when we used the video share feature, the broadcast leg, is that related to the platform or the internet? So if you're using the video share feature, Karl, that one actually is dependent on your internet. So if you use the video clips option, that actually goes to StreamYard's servers. So when you play it, it's not actually dependent on your internet. It's coming directly from StreamYard itself. But when you use the video share feature, it can actually take a bit more of your bandwidth and stuff like that, because in addition to your web camera, you're now streaming a video on your computer to StreamYard itself. So that likely was something related to the internet. So you could opt to either make the video a bit smaller, or maybe see if you can improve the quality of your internet connection or something like that. Or if it's small enough, use the video clip option. Would that be another good option.
Yeah, and sometimes I should add, it's not always just internet related. Sometimes it is also device related. Like if you're on a older device or like a smaller laptop or something, could also do that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Sometimes, sometimes if you have an older computer, it's just not that great at sharing videos.
Yeah, older or just not very powerful. Could be brand new, but not very powerful. Kind of like if you're on a Chromebook, maybe could struggle a little bit. MacBook Air, that type of thing. We try to do everything we can to like optimize those video clips as much as possible. So hopefully it's all right. Also, 720p is a lot lower for everything, not just for video sharing, but it's like less intense on your computer and on your bandwidth. So if you're in 1080, you could try 720. That might help.
All right, time for one last question here. Jazzy says, is there any way to add music to the giveaway screen? So not super easily, Jazzy, but you certainly could do it. Probably you got a couple options. So maybe the most professional, like nicest way, like it's a bit bigger of an investment, but the nicest way would be to get an audio mixer and then have your audio running through that mixer. And those mixers are generally pretty feature rich, where you can upload tracks and things like that. So you could just play music from your mixer while you were doing the giveaway. That would work well. Or another option would be to use a virtual audio type source. We actually have some blog posts about that, and in the help docs as well, walk you through the process of setting up things like voice meter. Those would be the two options for now as far as the giveaway. And who knows, maybe on our end we can make it easier at some point too, because people really didn't want a drum roll or something like that.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask for you and for anyone else that wants that. Is there like a specific sound you want, or do you want to add your own custom sound? Like if we just had a drum roll, is that enough? Or is it like, no. I want to play some kind of, maybe some song that you have that no one else, wouldn't work for anyone else. Curious to know.
Absolutely, let us know. This was episode 141 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We have so much fun talking to you guys every week. So thanks for being here. We'll see you next week at the same time.
Cool. See you next week, everyone.